everything we are been saying. Because at times, unfortunately, we, the people of faith, we mess it up. We mess it up as if we are doing concussion. It shouldn't be. In my own opinion, science and Bible are not antagonistic. They comprehend each other. Go and look at that. If you have an explanatory Bible, something, I think it's in my car, it's not here. He will explain what that means by renewing of your mind. You see, there is a lot of things. My cousin that I cited an example, when I called my own uncle, said, we don't know who he offended. Offended what?
Why that happened to him?
Offended about what?
Yes.
And I didn't see this man for years, but I can predict what is happening. I have to encourage him, go and resign, because if they sack you, you are not going to entitle to anything. When they give you medication, use it and everything like that. And I said something also. The church are so insensitive. Oh, come, you are not fit to be a pastor. You can't lead that church again. Somebody that need help. So don't let us mix it together. There is a difference between it. But because of what I said, culture, unfortunately, is not written anywhere. It's a way of life. But if we change our attitude, we can modify our culture. I didn't throw my culture away, but the negative aspect of it, I don't use it. There are some good aspects of my culture that we still continue. And my sister said something the other time about when police stop you. I say to my own children, even the one that was born here, look, the only boy among them is as big as I am. You remember, big, black, and dangerous. Behave yourself. You see, let me say something. I don't know who will be watching and listening, but they need us. They didn't want us. You know, need is different. What did the Philippians 4:1? Philippians 4:19.
My God will supply all your needs.
He didn't say all your wants.
No.
All your needs.
According to his the glory.
And that is where I got that notion from. They need us, but they didn't want us.
Because it's still the case.
Pardon?
It's still the case.
No, it's the case. It will
For
continue
life.
to be the case. But please, let us know. To be a Christian is the best thing that can happen to you. Please don't go away and say somebody come to our church and say to be a Christian is. I'm not saying that. But don't be foolish with your Christianity. Read your Bible very well. You remember the Berean Christian?
Berean Christian,
Yeah? As brilliant as Paul was. They say this, Brother Paul. When I get home, I'm going to check whether Matthew is telling lies or not. Whatever he says to you, go here. I'm sorry if I'm going to go at you.
No.
Go and check.
Yes.
Don't take it for face value.
Check.
Please.
Good.
That is why I say to people, I don't preach. If I'm talking to you, stop me, ask questions. These are the preachers. But at times, they stand behind that. They are hiding behind the middle. But we can see them. Oh, no. Honestly speaking, the church I attend, we welcome when people finish preaching. Ask them questions. If you disagree, go to them and say, look, what you said the other time, you need to explain it more. We are not offended by that, although we're what?
Thank you. Praise the Lord. Yeah. Like I said to every one of us, it's going to be a very interesting program. And I want to promise you that we're going to have another time. And instead of starting at 12 o'clock, I will discuss with my sister here that we can start early so that we can have some time. So the next topic I would like my brother to discuss with us is about substance abuse. Substance abuse. I know it's a very big topic. You told me everything big. Yes, I know. Maybe one of these days we'll just pick only one. I will go through it. But we understand that among our children, among adults, among us, there are a lot of substance abuse. How the purpose of this meeting, we know that's a problem, but how can we tackle it when we discover that our children or our relatives are into substance abuse? Of recent, I think in Trafford area, we got a letter that most of the children there, they do what? They do faith. Yes, they do faith. And there are many children here, okay, that the parents may not know that you are vaping. It's very common among children. So a vaping problem is not a new thing. Okay? It's not a new thing. So if there are a lot of children that are doing it, okay, that are doing it in secret. My brother, can you please come on, help us? I know the time is not much, but you can help us to help our children. And to help our children.
I know people say substance misuse. I don't really believe in it. It's substance use and misuse, because there are some substance you have to use it. It's positive. So it's substance use and misuse. You can misuse anything. You can misuse anything, even something that is good.
Food.
Yeah.
You misuse
So
food.
when we are talking about substance use and misuse, we need to look at it critically and with a 360-degree eyes. I will still go back to Romans 12. You see, at times when I look at things, and that is what I benefited from your invitation for me to come here. Why am I saying that is this? I've decided I'm going to start what they call me and my mentor. And it's like a small group where people can just talk, because you see, because of where we come from, or because of what we have been told, or what we have been taught, we think, it's a no-go area. It's just like the church shy away from talking about sex, for example. But who among us will be here without that? No one. But we shy away from it. It's the same thing. Where I'm going is this. When we are talking about, you see, there is a guy called Timothy Keller. He wrote a book. He titled it Counterfeit Gods. And one of the counterfeit gods that we have is drug use. They are gods, but they are not real gods. You see, people abuse or people use and abuse substances because of, you see, we are talking about faith. There is a guy called Philip Yancey. He defined faith as believing in something that only makes sense in reverse. And that's exactly what Hebrew 11:1 is telling us. Believe in what only makes sense. So why did Timothy Keller call all these materials we're talking about, cannabis, cocaine, they have a lot of street name because of the job I do. But because of the false promise that if you take cannabis, you'll be high, a lot of people will say, I can't talk to a lady if I don't, have something before. Most of our celebrities are saying, I need to be high in order for me to be able to perform from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. in the morning. They are all false promises. The other aspect of it is that I'm just summarizing it because going into documents and everything, I don't see us go anywhere. However, when you take, let me, people think, and this is very important. When I say to people I don't drink alcohol, they think because I'm a Christian. My number one reason is not because I'm a Christian. No. In August 1984, I have a Muslim friend. So when they want to do the Muslim festival, I know a few people will know, and it's still available here. Go to some of the pubs, they tell them you want to buy Gouda. They will sell it for you, or Scout. And we drank and drank, I think until around 4 a.m. the following day. And my little toes, I cut it with a stone and it was bleeding. And I don't know until the following morning. That is the only reason I don't drink. To be honest with you, because even though I was young then, I thought, okay, if it is my child, I could have killed that child, and then I will not know until the following day. That is what God used. It's not because I'm going to church or because I'm a Christian. No, that's the first thing that, because as at that time, yes, people call me a Christian, but I wasn't. Because when we are talking about Christianity, people are misusing it. Let's go back to our substance use and misuse. It's a false promises. When you drink, you go from nothing to here. But the faster you climb, the faster you crash. When you take it, you see, I have a lot of, even in Africa where we come from, I work in what we call the drug abuse treatment and whatever center, where the big people in the society. A typical example, there was a day they brought a pocket money for one of my patients, which is more than the salary of the provost, that the head of the hospital, just for him to buy sweets and everything like that. So it's a false promise. Somebody from that type of family and all the young people that we have, with all humility, with all due respect. You see, there are certain things about me. That is why I title what I used to say there to be different, because at times I think I'm hot. The way I perceive things, people don't see it that way. There are a lot of things, and remember, I will give this an example again. The lady that was caught in adultery in the Bible, Jesus loved that woman, but he didn't love what he was doing. Neither did he like what she was doing. It's the same thing. If I see anybody that is misusing substances, and I used to say this also, my patient that I'm looking after, I used to say to them, I want to deal with the person God created behind your what you have done, behind that criminality that you have done, because there is a real human being behind it, and that is the real human being that substance use and misuse take away from you, and then you become the counterfeit. When you read that, it's a very, I think you can find it at £7 on Amazon or whatever. There is a false promises that money is also can be abused. Everything that money promises you, majority of it are counterfeit. They are not real. They are not true. Money can buy you a bed. It cannot give you sleep. Is that not right?
True.
So money can be abused. Food can be abused. Everything that doesn't the end result. Remember, I said Philippians said that faith is believing in what only makes sense when you turn it around. All these things we are talking about, it has destroyed where I work, and I don't know, this thing that you're recording is making me paranoid. Where my wife works, they will be speaking in my own dialect. Oh, sister, when we finish our preaching here, we go to Africa and enjoy our money. What a life. Who told you that you will enjoy? Which money? So all these substances we are... Sorry?
Yeah, continue.
All these substances we are talking about, they are false prophets. They promise you will be high. Before you know it, you find yourself at the police station. Before you know it, they section you. Do you understand that? That is when you are disorderly outside, they will call the mental health professionals like us to put you. It's an act here in this country. And once you enter into that, a lot of people think hospital is a better way to get out of trouble. It's not. It's not. Because the person that will release you will have to think properly. So, taking all these drugs is no better way. The only way, Jesus said, I'm the way, the truth, and the truth. And no one can go to the Father except through me. All these things that we are talking about, next time I will bring different types. Please, don't come and stop my car on the road and say something is in your car, just bring it. But it's a fake of it. It's not, it's a replica of it, but it's not real. So that you see what cannabis can cause in your life, what ecstasy can cause. Even ordinary, is it Panadol or Tramadol?
Codeine.
Codeine. All those stuff, they are false gods. They, yeah, there's a lot of trade name. I learned it from my people that we have more than 100 names. And for you, the young people, I'm not labeling you, and I'm not saying you are bad, you are not, because you are wonderfully created. You are uniquely created. You see, that is why DNA, there's no two DNA that are the same. So no counterfeit of you, no counterfeit of me. You are the original. All these things, they promise you. How many people have died because of all what we are talking about? They have all these promises like there is nothing that substance use and misuse can offer you that is positive. All of them are negative. The reason why I said initially that it's a substance use and misuse is that because there are some of it, you know that there are some type of epilepsy, if I'm right, when you take cannabis, it helps. But that is the medicinal aspect. Please don't, I need to be careful here. So no. There are some of it, there are some of this. They prescribe codeine for God's sake. Tramadol is being prescribed. But when you now take it to be, this is what you will use in order to be who you are, that is not true. That is a false. Any question before we go ahead?
We will do the question later.
Later.
We will do question. That's it.
So the other aspect of it is that as a church or as a God community or whatever the name I want to use, there are a lot of things that we're supposed to be talking about. The problem is this. If you don't train people, they will be trained from outside, and that training may not be the best for them. And we do that all the time because we didn't talk to people, and then we shut people down. When your young people want to talk to you, please listen, whether it's good or bad. Listen to them, give them audience, respect their opinion. It is very, very important, especially we from African origin. And I live in Caribbean a little bit, so I know a little bit of them also. So it's not about African, I would say Afro-Caribbean descent. We need to listen to them. One thing that I enjoy in the work I do is that when you listen to them, they will open up. We call it relational security. Literally, it just means that how much of me do you know as your friend? How much of your children do you know? How much of your wife, your husband, do you know? All these materials have nothing good to offer. It's just temporarily. You will be high. That's why I use that example. I wish we have a flip chart. You will be, when how, I don't know, do we have any physicists here? How many kilometers does light travel per second? I can't remember. Pardon? I forget about it. But what I'm trying to say is that, it's so fast. And that is how those substances will take you to here. It's the same rate that you will come down. So please, as I've said, your pastor have compounded everything together. It's too much for me. I'm not brilliant. I can't cope with too many things. It doesn't really happen because what she was saying, if we want to start to ask questions and everything like that, to be honest with you, 5 o'clock will not be enough. So we need to create time for it. I know it's our time. Today is Saturday. Probably if you go to work, you get double pay. You sat down here, somebody is just ranting and raving. But there are some things you cannot buy with money. There are a lot of things in this planet Earth that you cannot buy with money. All those things is like, there is a word I'm looking for. Yeah, there is a proverb. All that glitters. I will stop there.
Okay, before you stop, can you help us?
Yes.
If a father or a parent
Yes.
see their children flipping,
Okay.
how can they help those children without criticizing?
Okay, that is what I said originally, that you need to learn how to listen. And you need, pardon?
Just say what you mean.
Yeah, yes. It's about how much, most of this young, when I say young people, I'm not labeling you, please. Well, it's just an example. Majority of these young people do what they are doing. You know, they have a reason for it if you listen to them. So it's about educating them to say that, okay, you are doing this. A typical example is, and because it's going on the internet again, I need to be very careful. There is a young lady that used to buy, I think they call it protein egg or something like that. And my question is, oh, I saw the empty box in your bag. What are you using it for? Why did you buy it? I'm not start to say that, oh, it's not good, you are a bad child, you are a bastard. If I'm your father or if I'm your mother, you won't do this, you won't do that.
How do you get there?
Pardon?
How do you get there? Your mother doesn't smoke, your father doesn't smoke.
Just listen. There is another example. The baby of my house said one day, years back, I want to go for a sleepover. And I was mad. The first thing that came to my mind is the mentality. In my culture, we don't do that. You know what she told me? That is your culture. That is your culture. But it took me patience and God grace. And I have to go back to the ITV news, BBC news about people going to another people, they are being raped, they are being beaten. So I now sat her down and I explained that, look, if you say you are going to Matthew's house, John's house, Adeyema's house, or this house, that I know them, then I won't say anything. But where you are going, we don't know them. We don't know what they can do. Or did you know? This your so-called friend. Have you met her father? Do you know whether the father is alcoholics or humanism or whatever you want to call it? You don't know. So it's about your safety. She never asked that question again. But it took me wisdom, humility, to bury my pride. So when you see your children or your stewards doing something that you disagree with, rather than disown them immediately, call them, explain to them. You see, in my culture again, there was a day I told one of the children to bring water, and he said, Daddy, where can I put the water? I said, put it on my head. And she put the water on my head. But that is true. That is what I said. No, is that not what I said? I said, Daddy, where can I put the water? I said, oh, put it on my head because there is a table. It's an assumption.
That they understand.
But they don't. But I can't beat her because that is what I said. I said, put it on my head, and she put the cup. It's merely butter. I said, what are you doing? He said, but you said. So those are the things we need to be very careful of. Please, let us take our young people. They are our friends. Even though they may be our children, but they are our friends. And let be friend with them. Don't sell them to the den of lions. Does that answer your questions?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Oh, praise the Lord. I know we are enjoying. And what I want us to do now, okay? Because when our sister will come to come and tell us about help that is available, I would like us to also go to ask questions. But for now, what I want us to do is to define ourselves so that the children can have some time with our sister there. And we adults will have some time with our brother so that we can relate together. So children, can you please take your chairs and go down there to have a chat with our sister? You can say anything to her. You can talk to her. You can do anything. Go to that side. Go to her, please. Children, go to her. Let adult come here. You can ask her question.
You still couldn't come.
Pardon?
If you're young enough, you still couldn't come.
Yes, please go there and have a chat. Please go and have a chat. Go there, have a chat together, please. Thank you. Go and have a chat. Sit down there, have a chat. You can ask her any question. And if you want to ask question that you don't want other children to hear, you can call, you can speak to her here.
Come on, listen.
Oh, where do you want us to?
You can do our here.
Okay.
So that we don't come off the. Okay, we can come together so that we can have a chance together.
So, probably, let's quickly address the second question. And the second question is, persons with mental illness are better off going elsewhere to worship. They have difficult behavior that can destroy our worship. Strongly agree is 5. Agree is 4. If you are neutral, is 3. If you disagree, is 2. And if you are strongly disagree, is 1. Yes.
1.
Okay. Strongly disagree. Is that a unified response? And that is what we do. When people, especially, when people have diabetes, they have hypertension, they have cancer, they have all sorts of things. We accept them as human beings, as part of our family. When it comes to the issue of mental illness, even in the church, Brother Lagbaja cannot come to the church because it's just going to be shouting and everything. But what did you do to help that Brother Lagbaja to look after himself? Mental illness is also part of it's a sickness, it's the disease of the brain. And brain, I said when we started that our body is like a car. You see, your car has different components. The same thing, your body have different components. And because of that, we have to treat it that way. The other question, which is the third one, is I feel comfortable talking with my pastor or other church leaders about mental illness. We can modify that to say that about my personal problem, either physical, relational, or the other way around. Do you agree? Strongly agree? Neutral? I know this one because we are talking face to face. I wish I have a secret ballot so that people can tell me what they want to tell me without their left hand no. But it is very, very significant. I won't put us on the spot. But if the church or the church leaders are doing what they're supposed to be doing, people should be more comfortable, confident to talk to them about anything. And I think in your church, you have what I can call double advantage. There is a daughter, I need to be very careful again, that we adopted. And one day we are talking, we are chatting, and she's trying to, try to be clever. And I said, look, I know people can challenge it, but you can say anything. As a student, I've been in the maternity ward, I've been in the labor ward, I've been almost all around the place. So there is absolutely, you see, we need to develop that relationship in the church where people can say anything. And I don't believe in stupid question. I only believe in stupid mistake. It's better I ask you guys question and you learn. Joseph's supposed to know that now. But when I committed that stupid mistake, it will go beyond laughing at me. The law can even apprehend me and that will be a problem. So I won't say what do you want to say about that, and then let's go into the fifth one, which is the last one. Persons with a mental illness and their families are treated like any other church members. That one also is very tricky. But the reason why I put all this thing there, it's not my word anyway. I like reading things. So, and that is part of what I'm going to use for that, me and my mental illness I'm talking about, is that people should be able to feel part of the family, part of the society. It's not limited to the church alone. When we used to run small group, there is a lady with mental health issues, a woman, and everybody said that no, you cannot come to our small group, this and that. But I called them, and I'm very serious. They are my friends, they are my family. Probably, I know people that are not in the profession may find it a little bit difficult, but I can reassure you, they are human beings like us, and not everything that happens to them is their fault. You know, the first question where we all laugh. So what we need to understand is that we need to understand denial about mental illness. Family members may deny the person has a mental illness. The one I spoke to you about, the wife, the children, and the extended family, they don't see it as a mental problem. But I know that something is not right. When you call somebody and he's telling you ranting and there was a time he's telling me, oh, uncle, they have posted me to this department. There is no money there. And I said, okay, are you not being paid your salary? You are being paid, and you are telling me, I think you are telling me where they posted you, there is no money. What money? Those are the signs that give me a clue. I know you want to ask a question. So when I finish like this, one slide, I will stop for questioning. The other thing is, the family will be alarmed by what is happening to their loved ones. No wife or husband want to see. I have a friend whose wife was sick. And the first thing my friend told me is, oh, we don't want that to be on our record. What record? Yes. What record? So our culture also is not helping. I think it's against us. We need to be able to shout for help. Let me tell you this story quickly. There was a time I had an issue at work. And I have a Ghanaian line manager then, I think. And he came to me and said, Joseph, I know you. You will say nothing happened to you, but I can tell you something happened to you. So don't play a superhuman being. So I requested to be allocated a psychologist, a therapist. And I went to my GP. Said, oh no, we don't have any other one, but we can get you a private one. I said, no. I want the one that is accredited. So they sent me to Oxford. I think the woman was in her 60s. And I booked about 10 sessions, and 1 hour is £250. Yes. Now, please get this right. Within me, I know I'm okay. But people that are looking at me know that I'm not okay. And it's good not to be okay. So fortunately for me, the lady happened to be a Christian attending Church of England. So my 1 hour, we talk about Jesus, we talk about church, we talk, and therapy finished. We may be thinking that it doesn't have effect. It does. For the mere fact that I was able to be bold enough to do that, it gives me some relief. Whereas the other time when we think we are strong, when something happened to us, we don't want to speak about it. That is the genesis of that story. Please, voice it out. Something that you spit out is half salt. And if people like, they can go to BBC One and broadcast. I said something like a joke, but it's not. Majority of our church leaders, whatever you tell them in private, they bring it to the pulpit. It's wrong, in my opinion. It's not right. The other thing is because the person is doing very well, the family believe that the symptomatic behavior will never return. Mental illness is like you bring a bowl, fill it with water, and you bring another small bowl. And then when you turn that bowl in the water, the moment your hand is on the bowl, That small boat will submerge in the water. The moment you remove your hand, it comes up. That is mental illness. That's it. You need to maintain that. The same. I have problem with this. There is a. I'm not saying you should stop it, but I just need to be careful. There is a lady that have a mental breakdown, and because she knew who I was, she was so petrified for the mother to tell me about what is happening. But to her surprise, I'm the only one that say it's not extraordinary. And she looked at me and said, "This man saying this?" And then she opened up everything that the mother don't even aware. That is where relational security comes in. I need to be secure with my leader, not pastor. I need to be secure with you as my friend for me to open up, for me to talk to you about what is very, very important to me. So we need to be able to do that so that we can continue to be, you see, we hide under the umbrella of, but unfortunately, that is not the way the Bible says that. The other one is they blame and denigrate, that is abuse, they pull down. The healed person, unacceptable behavior, and lack of achievement. That's another thing we do to our young ones. Please stop comparing your children with each other. Stop comparing your children with another child. Stop, because if you are not careful, you will continue to kill them gradually. Every child has got a potential, even if they are mentally subnormal. God has never created trash. God has never created anybody to be useless. It is only for us to identify where our potential lies. All of us cannot be doctor. All of us cannot be engineer. All of us cannot be an artist. Everybody has got a role to play. It's a teamwork. And this life is also a teamwork. God will help us. The other thing is leads to tension within the family, loss of meaningful relationship. I've seen a family where, because they have a challenge, one of their child is very challenging and everything like that, and that separates the family. It shouldn't be. It's just about understanding. I have a work colleague that when we talk and everything like that, and when I say something, because I think people expect, as she has said the other time, a different reaction from us when they talk to us, but it shouldn't be that way. So there is a great deal of stigma associated with mental illness also, like we are saying about demon and everything like that. That is not true. Persons with mental illness are often feared, mistrusted, and marginalized. I've nursed a patient that completed her MS in mathematics on my ward, and it's a patient. The Open University will bring exam paper to the world. He will do it, and he did well. What really helped me, I don't know how I know, but there is a university in the northern part of England where I know that the lecturer is taking antipsychotic medication and everything like that. And they link to each other. So what? I'm a professor. I have mental illness. Your mental illness is not the end of your life. We need to have that mentality. More evidence in biblical time. You see, all what we are saying is not just started. If you have your Bible, you can open Matthew chapter 8, verse 20 to 34, probably there's no time. And then somebody else, Luke 8, 26 to 30. It's the same thing. It's the same story, but we can read either of it. And that is where, they tie the man down, they take him, to Beggar Grand and everything like that. Yeah?
And they sailed to the region of the Gerasenes, which is across the lake from Galilee. When Jesus stepped ashore, he was met by a demon-possessed man from the town. For a long time, this man had not worn clothes or lived in a house, but had lived in towns. When he saw Jesus, he cried out and fell on his feet, shouting at the top of his voice, "What do you want from me, Jesus, Son of the Most High God? I beg you, don't touch me." For Jesus had commanded the impure spirits to come out of the man. Many times it had seized him, and though he was chained hand and foot and kept on the guard, He had broken his chains and had been driven by the demon into solitary places. Jesus asked him, "What is your name?" "Legion," he replied, because many demons had gone into him. And they begged Jesus repeatedly not to order them to go into the abyss. A large herd of pigs was feeding there on the hillside.
Yeah.
The demons begged Jesus to let them go into the pigs, and he gave them permission.
Okay.
When the demons came out of the man, they went into the pigs, and the herd rushed down the steep bank into the lake and was drowned.
Thank you. You see, there was a question before about demon. I deliberately want us to read that place. The way I take that aspect is this. When we look at prayer, you see, and I will not generalize this. There are some people, when they are sick, their faith is up to the level that they think, Joseph, I'm not going to use paracetamol. My own faith is the headache I'm having, I will pray that this paracetamol, whatever be the medication the GP gave to me, that it will work. Then I will use it. I'm not against, but the risk or the danger there is, like my sister said the other time, there are some things that we neglect. There are a lot of things that we don't do. We have another family friend also. You have to edit this thing before you put it out.
It's already up. It's straight away. No, it's live on Facebook.
Okay.
Nobody's there.
So this particular person was discussing with a friend. For example, now, if I come to you and I say, oh, I went to my GP yesterday and he gave me paracetamol for my headache. God forbid, you can never have a headache. I told you I have it, and you are still telling me. Where do we?
It's part of madness.
Where do we stand? I had it already. You are still saying God forbid what?
It's part of madness.
So those are the problems we are facing. I'm not advertising because I don't have any share in any company. But there is a book written by Pastor Matthew, What is Wrong with Being Black? If you have opportunity, it's a good book to read during your leisure time. Probably you go on holiday, just pick one and just read it. Black people have done greater things, but nobody talk about it. But the other side of it is that we talk about that also, and we still believe, all those things. There are some things that we need to, because people said, which are over here, but if you are very conversant with what is happening, people go to the House of Parliament in Oyo State with all the juju and everything. Well, they are in prison now. They are in police nest. Why is not the juju help them?
No, they bulldoze the house where they had the meeting.
Yeah.
They bulldoze the house.
These are the things that you see in the olden days. But now we are deceiving ourselves, and it's not the best way to go. I know people have worked with people in this UK that say, Joseph, these Europeans, you need to go home and whatever. But what is the outcome? Nothing. So please, the things have moved on, and we need to see it that way. Let me see what I have again, and then I can ask questions. Sorry. It's good that we are talking about this, to be honest with you, and even before now, I recommended the things to somebody else again already. Some might have wrong in the family to cause the illness. This is what I was saying, that there are some of my PowerPoint that answer those questions. It's because the mother has offended somebody else. That is why the children run mad and everything like that. Really? Another thing I hear people saying is that, I used to say, for some of us that are still lucky to have mother, I said, if my mother now want to kill me, then she will be starved to death, because I give her money to eat. So let her kill me. Then she will be starved to death, and that will be the end of everything. So please, is very, very important. There is a great deal of stigma associated with mental. Persons with mental illness are often feared, mistrusted, and marginalized. And I can understand that. We've listened to the news, underground in London and everywhere, where schizophrenic patients stab people or whatever. I'm not denying that. But what we are saying here is that we need to accept them and we need to care for them because they are part of. Remember that First Lady of America, what I read to us. So, and then the other time we are talking about what causes mental illness. Mental illness seldom has one single cause. Mental illness are being caused by different things, by a lot of things. So, as human, our mind, body, and spirit. I gave the example that I have a body. You believe that I'm alive. But what you don't understand is my soul. As human, our mind, body, and spirit are interconnected in a complex and wondrous way. The word mental illness can be confused since it is used to describe a lot of depression and all the rest. Mental illness involves biomedical changes in the brain. This is what she's trying to tell us when she started. Changes in the brain chemistry. Certain medical conditions can contribute to mental illness. People that have thyroid condition, heart attack, stroke, cancer, and other many physical illness can develop symptoms and then you become mentally unwell. You see, even malaria can make you become delirious. And when you are delirious, what you will be saying, what you will be doing, no different from people that suffer from mental challenges. So, but we forget all that this is how it is. And I can understand that, when you do. So, another thing that can cause is lack of social support. I need to do the job. But when you go to work, you slam the door. Who didn't understand your language? All of you understand it? Yes. Okay, I will try to because at times there are some of these saying that you struggle to get in this interpretation. I think, I need to do this, I need to do that. Then the other risk factor includes poverty. Poverty called mental illness. If we don't know, it causes mental illness, lack of access to medical care, and being socially marginalized. You see, the government, there's a lot of things outside there. That is what I used to say that everything appears to be working against us. We are the hard to reach people because of our culture, because of our religion. Traumatic events in life, like loss of all kinds, environmental trauma, and passive. I had a patient in the past. Before we realized that the reason why he attacked us is that we try to touch him. But it's from Somalia where there is war for years. So, zero tolerance to touching. The moment we know that, no problem. Don't touch him. Because when you do that, it's like you want to attack him. And then it's like, before you do me, I will do him. So we need to understand that also. And
I've got a question.
Yes.
Before you continue, sir.
Mm-hmm.
I would like you to talk to Ross.
Yes. Actually, that's all.
Yeah. The reason why I call us adults together is that there are a lot of things that is affecting us as adults, or as that will affect our family, that will also affect our children.
Yeah.
Let me give a sample. Maybe you can help us.
Yeah.
A lot of us, when we come from Nigeria to UK, we think that all problems is solved. But when we get to UK, we also think that when we done everything here, we are going to go back to Nigeria to go and do what? To go and enjoy. And that is killing us. That the life we're supposed to enjoy, we are not enjoying it. And it's taking everything away from us. So how do we bring this together regarding our mental health?
Okay. One of the things that I've identified so far, the mistake I've made is what I want to say now. And my preaching if I can call it preaching, to people now is this. The Yoruba people will say, "Ibi gbogbo ni ile owo." Okay? The meaning for that is that God owns all this planet Earth. And what the Bible says is that wherever your feet touch,
Give unto you as possession.
so what is our problem? Now, I have a house, I have a gate man. The house I'm not living, I'm still using my money to pay, to look at empty house, whereas I'm living in a box room here. Who is fooling who? No. Who is fooling who? The life is so short, and I can say it with all. I have a colleague, although not a Nigerian, that she used to tell me, Joseph, life is short, life is short. I don't even know that she would die. Yes. But what we need to be aware of is this. I'm not saying, please get me right, I'm not saying that doing something at home is not good. But what make me laugh is this. If tomorrow now they say you should go, fine. Tomorrow, the Bible tells me that tomorrow will take care of itself. So why do I have to work? Do I know whether I will see tomorrow anyway? I don't. I don't know whether I will see tomorrow. So my own suggestion to us is that look after yourself. One life, live it. In my area, there is a old Land Rover. It's an old man that owns it, and that's what it wrote at the front. Like he used to write it in Nigeria. Yes. So he said, one life, live it. One life, live it. And I've seen that thing since when my children are in secondary school. They are all adults now. The other thing that I will say is this. I went to Portugal sometimes, and in their airport, I saw something which I think is still on my phone. They said, "We don't leave what we're supposed to do today till tomorrow." And I snap it. It's in my photograph somewhere. Why am I saying that to us is that what you're supposed to do today, don't leave it. You know, procrastination. So let us do it that way. There is a lot of things. I don't know who I was speaking to the other time. Bible is so complete. Said the foolish man is putting treasure together without knowing
who is spending in the book of Ecclesiastes.
So those are the things that we need to remind ourselves of. When I see people, actually I was telling her when we are just having something to eat there that I've learned something during she's not the one, during the COVID. Get me right, I don't like people that died during the COVID. But something that I cherish about that time is that one, I've learned how to spend only what I have. Two, I've learned to realize that every day that I wake up is a bonus. It's not a right. Because I've experienced people that are closer to me during 2019 and 2021 that have gone. So since then, when I sleep and I wake up, I say, "Oh, I thought it's my turn. I'm still alive." And people think probably something is wrong upstairs, but nothing is wrong. It's just that I realize that how favorable I am, how gracious God is to us. Back into the issue of where we read in that Luke chapter 8 or whatever, is that when we are talking about the demon and everything like that, you see, because the way it is this, anything that people don't, I don't know if this is, anything that people don't know the cause, or they don't know the roots. You see, at times I pity the devil. The devil is a gentleman. I pity him. He is in his house, enjoying his cold water or whatever, enjoying his good food. When you are late to work, my brother will say, "Na devil." He put one car to be driving slowly. if we have headache, oh, it's the devil. Everything. Why? I pity the devil. Can we stop?
Well, liking
That is it. Another thing is, we, the household of God, you know that we have elevated devil above Christ. Everything is about the devil. What concerns devil about when you're supposed to read for your exam and you fail, and you are telling me it's the devil. Any question?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. And my question is about 3 or 4 folds because I'm raising up my answers.
Sorry.
I would like to start from the discussion or your talk about our children,
Yes.
about getting to understand them,
Yeah.
and about when you asked the child to bring a cup of water, and the child said, "Where should I put it?" Billy Minori, I was trying to put it.
Yeah.
Now, we realize that there's a gap in our culture,
Okay.
where we are coming from and where these children are coming from. But we as parents, we find it difficult to marry this together. And most often than not, it's causing problem with our children because they don't understand us. When they're talking to them, they look at us in their eyes. But in our own tradition, we tell them, "Now would you excellent?" You don't look at adults. So at the end of the day, we realize that instead of these children relating with us, they get withdrawn.
Yeah,
they get glued to their computers.
Because they are confused. We confuse them.
Exactly. We get them glued to their computers at house. They are playing games with their friends. They will not relate. And you will not see them come out at all.
Yeah, you are talking about me.
I don't know whether that is a statement. When they start having these issues with their peers, vaping and other things, because these are the people they relate with, and they have things they need to discuss with us that are not discussing with us. They start building up this mental health, mental illness.
Yes.
How do we relate? How do we try and avert that? Because it is really affecting the relationship of parents and children. How do we solve that? Because the beginning of that, to my understanding, is a gap in our culture, cultural gap. That is number one. Number two, talking about relationships in the house.
Yeah.
In our tradition, men believe I'm the head. And that ego is in them. They see the women as to be subservient. I'm not saying we should be egoistic as women, but what I'm saying is they see themselves as the alpha and omega, and you have to dance to it. To the extent that some men don't even understand when the women are going through things. When you tell them, "Oh, the way you're shouting at me, I don't like it. It gives me psychological." A man can tell that role back.
I'm guilty of that.
We are not feeling it. And as we, this normally affects us.
Yeah, it does.
How do we relate to that?
Okay.
Number three,
Wow.
talking about demonizing everything. If you look at our culture, African culture, they will tell you about the witches.
And the witchcraft.
When somebody is diagnosed in the hospital that probably that person has cancer, they will say somebody somewhere put a vagina as a person that caused it. It's to me, I believe it's a level of mental illness.
Okay.
How can we manage such people? You asked somebody a question the other time when the person said he was being posted to a place to work. And they said,
Yeah.
And you asked that, "So, are you not being paid?" Which means that if we should look at that statement, everybody in Nigeria has mental illness.
No, it's true.
Because if you are being hosted to a place in Nigeria, you cannot make any money. My people that are coming to this country, I said, "Look, this is not Nigeria. It is your salary that you collect and you pocket. Nothing more than that." So it is a level of mental illness. And the Bible says that when the foundation is shaky, what can the righteous do? How do we help? Which means that in Nigeria, the base of our problem is mental illness. How can this be resolved to give us a better world?
I will start from the last one, then you will just prompt me to remember the first two. You see, every human being, in my opinion, has got some traces of mental illness, one way or the other. There is what we call mental defense mechanism. You know, to be anxious is a good thing. Otherwise, Jesus will not say, do not be anxious for nothing, which means there are some elements of that. It is when, you see, it's like between health and illness. It's a fine line. It is when you trip, either you trip to the left or to the right. If it's to the left, which is health, then you are well, you are not sick. When you triple to the other side, then you are. So, what in your last question is that people, you see, when we are talking about mental illness, it's a very complex concept. And it's like we are talking about faith. Faith is individual. I explained something before that you can have faith that when you take paracetamol, your headache, there are some people they will not. So, in terms of the people, that is their own mentality, if I get it right, because I've drove almost 3 hours to do so, I'm getting that now. And people just come and say all those things. Yes, it's a sign of. I said something, if you remember, that it took me 6,000 plus miles away to realize that something is not right. But they don't see it that way. The second question, what is it about?
Talking about relationship in the house.
Okay, now the one in the house, the reason why I said I'm number one, you know, when you are in the court, you say, my Lord, I'm guilty. You see, we have a friend, actually, I think it's in Birmingham or in Manchester here, that was sacked and was disqualified by NMC, the Northern Military Council, because of what we are just talking about culture. What happened was, he was sacked and disqualified from practicing because of her daughter. And she continued to say, in my culture, when you do something, we beat you, we do all this, we do all that. And the question is, if you are doing this to your child, how are you going to be dealing with your patient or people outside? So with that, they decided that is the case. With the man and whatever, you see, this is where I laugh about a lot of situations. It's not because when I was here, my son will be, I don't know how many years now. When we have him, I used to back him in my back, and I don't know the road to the airport, so it's not about English culture. And I can do anything because I believe in something that, for example, now, especially in this country where everybody works. Okay, if you go to work and you are going to come back at 9 o'clock, am I not going to eat? I will wait for you to come back and cook. I will be dead of hunger. So personally to me, I will not wait. Actually, I will prepare and leave your own for you. I will put your own aside. You see, it's very, very difficult because of I will still say the same thing. Change your attitude to modify your culture. It's very, very important. I'm not saying people should change their culture, but it can be modified. And this is what we are talking about here. And it's about being insensitive, but it is in every culture. I watched a news yesterday where the lady murdered a partner, we call it partner, but the husband and wife. Very demanding in the garden and denied that it's not one. Everybody is blaming that lady. Me, I don't blame her because I don't know the details of why I'm not saying it's good or bad, but I don't know the details of why. So it's both sides because I'm not going to stand here and be saying that everything that the men do are right. To be honest, that's not true. But we need to comprehend ourselves. That is why God didn't take flesh or bones from my feet. He took it from here. So, and to me, what I would say, which is a little bit controversial, is that anybody that's raised his hand or whatever, if you are with your right senses, as you have said, that you call somebody a goat, just for example, and then you are having fun with a goat. So who is mother? By the way, mother is a correct English. No, it is.
Wow.
Yes, mother. It's a correct English. Go and Google it.
So who is mother?
That is it. The first one, please, your first question. So that
Our children, the way we relate with them, that is affecting them, and most of them get withdrawn from
they
them.
will, because majority of us are dictators. Yes, we are autocratic leaders. We are autocratic parents. We are dictators. We tell them, including myself, because at times there was a time we were talking about them cleaning the house. And I said, well, as long as I'm the one paying mortgage, paying rent, paying this, whatever, if you can't comply, well, I said something to my wife, I said, please don't send these children away. When I'm bored, they will not come and say hello. They will not even say hello. I think we just need to take them as our friend. We need to take the children as our friend. Jesus called us friends, and we need to call them our friend. Even for those that have grown up, it's not late to reconcile. There are some things that are late. Something that you're supposed to, for example, if you're supposed to take them on holiday when they are young, they are grown up now. I'm not talking about that. But in terms of relationship, in terms of talking to them, we can still do that. We just need, they need reassurance. I will go back to my slang. It's about relational security. If your children, either he or she, knows that when he or she talks to you, you will listen, they also will listen. They will listen.
Give and take.
Yes. They will. Yes, brother.
Thank you very much, sir.
No, don't worry.
There are some things that I want to go down deep into.
Okay.
Majority of us, most of us actually travel 6,000 miles almost.
Yeah. Yeah.
I will want to differ a little bit from the culture that you mentioned about Africans.
Yeah.
We have to go try and understand the basics. Why? Okay, now the father and the mother. Why are they always? Because you mentioned that it is autocratic. Yeah. Let's say autocratic. Yeah. Autocracy. What is autocracy? Basically, what I want to do, not Lord. Why are they saying that? The basic reason why it is actually documented. I am going to look for the reference.
Yeah. No.
The basic reason why Africans do that is that because you see, in Europe here, or they have a kind of set age in which the children will now try to express themselves.
Yes.
Which in our own age, in our own Africa.
Can I just pause? I'm not stopping you. As old as I am, if my mother called to say that you cannot leave Manchester today, I'm not leaving.
Because it is deep seated in you, because it has been inculturated into your deep consciousness.
Yes.
Now, so basically looking at that, I will not want to chastise our culture.
No.
Reason being that because you see, when people hear autocracy, no, our culture is really bad.
No, it's not bad. But remember, in leadership, there is no one leadership style. There are some, even at work, that have to be autocratic. For example, I deal with people's lives. So you take it or not. So autocratic has its own benefits. Democracy, God is a democratic God. However, God is a dictator.
Yeah.
So
it's an admixture of that.
Yeah. So when I said, that is why I think I've said it almost 5 times now, that modify your attitude or change your attitude to modify your culture. I'm not saying nobody.
I'm actually coming towards that. Because basically, you see, I want to say what I said is I want to differ
No, it's
to
good to
arrive
yeah.
at the same point.
I like what is happening here because if I just say and I don't have response, then something is not right.
Yeah.
So I'm over the moon.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
You know why? Because it's for our education
Yes.
generally. Everywhere. Because we need to actually understand the basic orientation of Africans towards yes. And you have actually not chastised that actually you explained the basics. Now, but for a proper understanding, to complement what you are saying, basically is that you say as I think the children too really need to understand is that the fact that you see when daddy and mommy are talking, you see the idea of daddy and mommy are talking is because you see from time immemorial, Africanism has actually established the fact that the level at which the expressional age of children is not even at 10 years. It is more a little up to about 15 years. Because that is when you will hear
yes.
Now, the basic thing there is that you see many parents actually miss the basic educational way of imbibing into their children, and that is where you will hear. You look at Omolagbaja. Look at the way he's behaving. But the children will feel like talking, but they cannot talk.
Because the relational security is there.
They have been actually hoodwinked by that idea of when your father or mother is talking, you keep quiet and you listen.
And that's benefit
and many of us use that as it has a lot of pros and cons. Many of us use that as a kind of security for us to continue to say, because you see, by the time we are talking to our children, we will be thinking about and look at the way he's talking to me. Will you keep quiet? You understand? And that actually is it is not a deliberate act. It is a kind of instinct, a parental instinct towards the fact that number one, he is not happy that the child is not getting his own point, and he's not happy that the child is misbehaving. So at the end of the day, the two of them leads to a kind of infuriated, for them, the father or the mother getting seriously infuriated and going to being physical, and which at the end of the day, the truth is that many of the parents, when they sit down after all these altercations, when they sit down, they say, but they will keep quiet. They won't say it to the child,
and that is bad,
which is really bad. But basically, what they wanted, I think the area that they needed is more education on how to handle these kids. Basically, even when the kids are not talking, how do you try as much as possible to handle? Naturally, the kids in this country needed to talk. I'm not saying the kids in Africa does not need to talk. They will. They need to talk. But because of the kind of level that we the kind of level at which African parents are holding themselves, and that is why I mentioned that there are a lot of issues in that area. But I will not want us. You are eloquent in that area. But at a point that when people are talking, I think it's for educational purpose. That look, we should not look at our culture as majority of these cultures are actually also evolving too. They are changing too, and they are trying to. There are some transformations around it.
Thank you. I think that is very, very important also. However, I think probably one of the issues we have is the implementation, the way we implement things. They will say Babana Neniseru, Out of jail. You see, there are a lot of things, and there is a lot of ways.
You are reasonable.
Yeah. So, if I say, for your purpose now, if I send him to go and kill somebody, that doesn't mean that you have to go and kill that person. There is a way to go about it, and that's what I mean by the implementation level. And that is the example of the man I gave. I pity even the wife was begging, but they said no, it's just because that is not the first time. I think that is the second or the third time. So, yes, thank you for your observation. Our culture, we have a lot of good culture, but it's not 100%.
You mentioned that.
It's not. There are some of my culture, until I die, I will not change it because it's beneficial to me and it's profitable. Yes. Pardon?
Thank you. Thank you very much, my brother, and thank you very much, my sister. Because of our time, we need to leave this place by 5 o'clock. And I would like our sister to talk to us about help that is available. Because if we continue to talk here, the problem that we have is a lot of time we normally speak about trouble, but not everybody wants to talk about solution. Something happened to me of recent in my place of work. So whenever I finish whatever I'm doing, I like to prepare for the person coming next to me. Coming tomorrow, I will get him ready. So one of my colleagues, what I'm saying because it's something positive. So there was somebody who worked before me who left a box. You know, there's a box that the person left there, supposed to throw away. That person forgot to throw it away. And when I was there, I didn't pay attention to it. I didn't notice it. So I was at home. The person now sent me a text message with picture that did you leave this there? Oh, I said to the person, I said, I'm very sorry. I didn't do it. Go and ask so and so. Maybe so and so did it. So after the person now got the message, and I said to the person, I said, did you really see what I left on the table for you? And the person now replied, oh, beautiful. So what the problem that we have most of the time is that many of us, we normally see what is wrong. And we don't see and appreciate what is right. And if we are going to enjoy life, even with our children, with our husband, with our wife, with ourselves, we also need to see what is what? What is right. And until we start to learn to see what is right, let me tell you, life will become very, very unbearable and difficult for us. Everybody is guilty, which means we criticize. We are always critical. We critique ourselves because we see what is what? What is wrong. We don't see what is what? What is right. When my brother put something on the paper, you see that thing, that little thing that he put there, is not up to 1/4% of that white paper. But what people saw is that point there. What of that white area that is white? So if we're not going to learn anything from whatever, when we get home, let's start to see positive thing about ourselves. Let's start to appreciate ourselves. Husband, start to appreciate your wife. Wife, start to appreciate your husband. Children, appreciate your parents. Parents, appreciate your children. Don't let us be what? Be critical. I'm saying this to wait for my sister that is coming. And the next thing I want to say about our culture that our brother is talking about. My own opinion about that is this. Let me tell us something that I understand here. You may not agree. The way our parents raised us back home in Africa, and I can say it, the way my parents raised me, that whenever I misbehave like this, that they will do what? They will give me a dirty slap. It's barbaric. It's barbaric. It's animalistic. Is animalistic, and many of those parents, many of
Stone.
yes, also that somebody will do something. So when you break something, they will move. They will take that thing you break to make a mark and put pepper there. Is not right. It's a bad culture that we need to run away from. There was somebody that was showing me something. Said, "Look at what my daddy did to my eyes." And when he was talking about it, and to end it, praise the Lord, to end this, when I came to this country, I want to tell you my own personal experience. When we came to this country, my wife is here. We normally say that our children, my daughter is there. We normally say, when you are in the house, you are what? You are where? You are in Nigeria. When you go out, you are where? You are in UK. Let me tell you, when we run into problem, no, I'm saying to you, we run into problems. I can say it boldly here. We run into problem as a family that our family, the social services, the police got involved in the way we are behaving. Okay, that they have to send us for what? For parenting. So when we went for parenting, my wife and I, when we went for parenting, we now learned that we are the wrong. We knew that my wife and I knew that we were wrong. A lot of things a lot of our expression to our children was coming from what we learned from our parents. That is wrong. That we cannot use that for our children of nowadays. Now, let me ask you a question. Bring your phone out. Let me see that phone, my brothers. Bring that phone out. So, if you look at this phone, it seems like the phone you are using about 10, 20 years ago. Let's look at it. Even look at your computer that you use at home. When they began the computer, they normally carry something like a block. Hello? A computer in the past, like a big like this. Everything is now smart, isn't it? You cannot be using what was in the past to deal with all these children nowadays. Let me tell you, I want to tell you something. Our children of nowadays, they are more clever. They are more, we don't know where they get their brain from. They are more clever that we also need to be clever to do what? To deal with them. When my daughter, that was there, when she was one year or 2 years old, she knew how to use my wife's thumb to do what? To open the phone. She will take my wife's thumb. She will take the thumb of my wife, open the phone. She will go and play with the phone, play game, play everything. And when the battery is dead, she will bring it back. And I was thinking, who taught her? When she was around 2 years. 2 years. So that child like that. Please, parents, let us be friends with our what? Children. Let's do what? Let's hold them. Let's hold them. And the problem again that I see, when our children, when we want to talk about our children, we don't talk about them, we talk about us. Okay? When you want to talk about your children, you don't talk about them, you talk about you. You talk about how whatever they are doing affects you. You don't talk about what affects them. And when you are doing that, they will be thinking you are just interested about you, not about them. Let whatever we are going to be saying to them be about them. My daughter is here. There was a time she told me to stop my wife from talking to her. It's not true. She said to me that whenever I'm having talking to her, she will be talking about herself, not about her. And I have to call my wife and say, please, no, most of the money bank, don't talk to my daughter again. Is it not true? Because it shouldn't be about us. Let also see from their own perspective.
We know that is a mental health illness. We know. how do we address it? It's our culture.
No.
And we are used to that.
No.
We are talking to this, we keep telling us that we are selfish.
No.
How do we address this?
No, that is what I'm saying. Let's start to see. Let's change our own perception too. Let's forget about how we are brought up.
Let's
Let's
change
now.
our attitude to modify our culture.
Yes.
But many of them, they behave in a very annoying way that you just feel like hitting them with your
Hey, but
head.
The solution.
Okay,
What is the-
madam, we need to talk.
Doctor.
We need to talk.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, sorry, sir.
Whenever possible.
As a solution to as one of the solutions, as one of the solutions.
Yes.
Honestly, you see, most of these things will be coming in kind of instinctively.
Yes.
I don't know whether you yourself or you
It doesn't
mentioned.
matter. Yeah.
What I'm saying there is that many of we parents, we don't actually see our children most times, in the sense that
I just said it like that.
yes, we'll go to work, we'll come back. These children, they are in their rooms, or probably they are in the parlor. The moment daddy comes or mommy comes,
That's it. The promote.
and basically the solution, like I mentioned, is that I think to corroborate what you have said, I think we should just try as much as possible to inculcate the habit of meeting with these kids regular meeting with these kids. And the truth is that many of us will actually have been very, very tired. And how do we solve the issue of tiredness?
Okay.
Is by reducing the shifts. And also too, if there is going to be issue of finance as a result of reducing shift, there has to be a balancing act amongst the two.
You see, our problem is, I said something which is what I benefited. I'm not happy that COVID killed people, but I learned a lot of lessons from that 36 months that the whole world passed through that trouble aspect. We need to look into how do we balance between. I don't think any right thinking person will say that people should not work, they should not do this, they should not do that. But our problem is this. Okay, let me pose it as a question. The reason why the bank stopped lending money to people is that the government, they have been punished before, where they lend me money knowing that I won't be able to pay it back. Now, with the issue we are talking about, we need to balance our quality of life. We need to develop what I call that relational security with our young people. Is that relational security that is not there? Even when you are tired. You see, we used to say that no time, no time. Every human being has been endowed with 24 hours every day. And we cannot have more than that. We just have to, it's about time management now. I'm in the morning, I can say like I'm a morning person. When I'm going to work or not, I will still wake up at the same time. But when I come back, the moment I eat, that's it. So we have to deliberately delay. So as parents, we need to create that time for them. There is no alternative.
Yeah, and the children, sir. And the children, sir.
Well, the children, my submission to the children is when your parent, either your mother or your father, do something that either you don't like or you don't understand, I will say, please ask them. However, don't ask at that moment. Yes, because it may be termed as rudeness.
What do you mean?
It may be termed as challenging. Leave it. Probably daddy come to pick you at the gate of the school and you are in the car. You cannot say, 2 days ago, daddy, do you know that, what you said is this and that? With that, daddy What is that when it's hot, we become annoyed? Adrenaline might have cooled down, at an acceptable level, and then you can talk as a friend, not as a child to daughter or as a child, as a father to son. No, as a friend. That's why I said that we need to take our children as our friends.
No, we do question. Okay, thank you very much. So, what our sister, I will give our sister 30 minutes to come out and talk to us and about help that's available outside there, because there might be somebody here that might be going through one challenges or the other, and you may not know how to do what, how to look for help. There are help outside there, so we'll be talking to us for the next 30 minutes for help. After that, then we'll have opportunity to ask questions and to answer, because we need to leave this place by 5 o'clock. And I want us to do that. And I pray the Lord will help us in Jesus' name.
Amen.
And on this note, let every one of us be friends with our children.
No, it's very important.
With our wives and husbands.
With our wife and husband too.
I think we need to be friendly as opposed to be friends. Because there's a very big difference between being friendly and friends. Because it's very difficult to be a parent
and be friends
and be a friend.
That's
You
a
are
good point.
friendly to your children.
That's a good point.
Yeah? Because some people, when they think they're the same size,
Yeah.
no. It doesn't work like that.
No, it doesn't. I agree with you. You see, we have a lot of things in common, African Caribbeans. You see? Yeah, no. I mean, at least 12 months is not a joke.
So, one of the things about, just to kind of bring us into this part of the session, one of the things that I'm really picking up is this issue of trust. Having enough emotional intelligence to have the conversation. Very important. Because the way your child has that conversation at school with their teachers or with anybody determines how people are going to be handling them. When they think they're going to rough them up and that child is intelligent, the child is not going to have it. But if they are friendly with you and say, Mum, Dad, Uncle, Big Sis, this happened. They said this to me and this is how I responded. That child has a level of awareness that they can articulate what's happened to then allow us to have a better judgment of how to intervene. Not just go charging in now and we're going to go and beat people up. No. Because sometimes when we don't have the conversation, that's what happens. People just get ignorant, don't they? And then people have become frightened. They become frightened of your children and they become frightened of us as the parents. Very, very important. So that's why we have to learn how to listen. And I always say to the young people, tell me the truth, then I can help.
Yeah.
And you start to build that rapport. And you can learn to agree to disagree. Not everything you do your children will like. And not everything my child does I'm going to like. But we all have to grow, don't we? Okay. So I wanted to just to say that because there's some things we don't understand what is happening to us. So how can I seek help about something I don't understand? So education, having this space is very important. But to seek help, for example, if I want to build confidence, so a lot of our issues that we are finding, we don't have nobody to talk to. Everybody in this country has a right to access psychological therapies. Have you heard of it? Talk therapies? Yeah. Everybody. You're up to, is it 6 weeks? And they might give you more. Yeah. You can apply online in your local borough for it or via your GP. Yeah, it's free. you may have to wait. Some people need longer psychological therapies, and it lasts for about 2 years. Because we talked earlier today, some of us have very deep trauma, but we didn't know that we had the trauma until we started to manifest these behaviors. They're not going away. And we keep being triggered. So we need longer help. Yeah? But we also need that assessment. Okay? And I'm really saying this because some of us need to be in therapy. And I'm saying to the young people, that's the time they get into adulthood, if they haven't been able to have the skills to develop relationships, you can't keep relationships. So you want your children to be in good relationships, but have we taught them how to relate, how to bond, how to nurture a relationship? When you're going to get married, you get marriage guidance, a counseling before you get married, yes? Or no? Maybe. Yeah?
We are counseling.
Yeah. But when we are going into the world as young adults, all of a sudden we're expected to be adult. What does it mean to be adult? Actually. So when we're talking about seeking help, a part of the help is to have those spaces where we can learn these skills. Some of us think, oh, it's a mental health service. It's not necessarily a mental health service. It's in primary school, they've got like, is it circle of friends or friendship circles?
Yeah,
Do you remember it?
yeah.
A lot of the skills, we forget how to be friends, how to be friendly, how to be discerning of each other. So you can develop support groups and friendship groups. Most people right now in this society are lonely and isolated, and they have got no friends. And they feel excluded. Yes? And we lose the skill of how to form friendship. Yes? So when I'm talking about seeking help, I'm not necessarily talking about mainstream services. These are things that we can set up and do amongst ourselves. Isn't that the truth?
Yes.
Yeah? So, in this borough, you have a range of services, but does these services talk about how to relax?
No.
No, there's some doing yoga, relaxation.
That's it. But how many of us go? How many of us go? So we see, but we need to make time to go. Because it's no point we're going to seek help. You're going to seek help for them to fix you. But they tell us, this is actual facts, and he will prove me right. They say, how to maintain good mental health, you need relaxation, good relationships, meaningful activity, leisure, congregational worship and prayer, good coping skills, good physical health and self-care, feeling included and respected. And they even have pets. Apparently, if you stroke your pet, a furry one preferably, for 15 minutes, it reduces your blood pressure.
Yeah, even within the hospital, we encourage people they bring dogs.
Yeah.
For the patient, and it does work.
Yeah.
It's true, we don't work out.
Well, we said it's not going to work with a fur coat. There's something about the warmth of a pet with fur that you stroke. So sometimes they're brought in rabbits and all different types. But children who need to talk, often when they have a pet to care for, it allows that young person to come out of themselves. Have you heard that before?
Yeah.
Yeah, so sometimes they have my little kitten or they have a little rabbit, or they get a little dog, and they have to learn how to protect it and look after it and grow it. And it's a very beautiful science. You look into it, prove me wrong, and you will see children who have gone through trauma had a little pet to look after. You'd be surprised how they come out of themselves. Yeah? Because they had a chance to show care. But often the same care and love they want. Powerful? Yeah? So that's not round the corner shop. It's the point that I'm making. All right? Now, if we are going to help, an action plan for us, the first action is heal. You have the power to heal yourself. Yes or no?
Yes.
You must engage with your own self-healing journey. It's called an expert patient. They ask you questions to make an assessment because you have the knowledge. But if you're not paying attention to the knowledge of yourself and what your body's telling to you, do you know your body talks to you? If it doesn't like what you're doing, what does it do? It shuts down, but it gives you pain. It talks to you. It will give you heart palpitations, increase your heart rate, headaches, and it will tell you, I don't like what you're doing.
Slow down.
Your body talks to you. So that's the first thing. If you're going to heal yourself, you need to listen. But if you do not quiet yourself and reflect on your day and how you are feeling, how can you heal when you have no time to listen? It's like when you go to the GP and the pen is poised and you haven't said anything yet.
And he wants to prescribe.
Because the clock is ticking. But when you're going to heal yourself, make time. Put yourself on the priority list, please. If you are number 10, where do you go now?
1.
Number 1.
Self-care.
Self-care. Self-care. So to heal yourself, and this is a framework, and it's from Ubuntu. Do you know the saying about Ubuntu? I am because you are. Therefore, because you are, I am. If I eat, you must eat. When I care for myself and I lead by example, I'm showing you care for yourself. Is that okay?
Yes.
Yeah? So that's number 1. Number 2, protect yourself. You have to protect your mind, protect what you're seeing, thinking, feeling. You have to protect what you're doing to your body. Do not just give over your body and your mind to everything, and there is no shield and protection. Then your system becomes overloaded and overwhelmed, and you get taken down like a rugby tackle. You have seen them rugby tackle. I would demonstrate with him, but I don't want to upset you. Yeah? We get taken down, don't we? Because we are overwhelmed. Please. This is very important. We get overwhelmed. That's protection. Number 3 is you have the ability to create your own health and well-being.
Yeah.
You have the power. You have the power. You have the power to be well. You can create health and wealth in your life, in yourself. But if you believe that you're waiting for somebody to fix you, you will be waiting for how long?
Forever.
So if you have a fixed mentality, you've already cut yourself. You must engage in your own health. Okay? So the places you can go You've heard of some of them. If you need to talk to someone and have some counselling, have you heard of the African and Caribbean Mental Health Service? It's on Alexander Road.
Africura. Is it?
Yeah, it's on Alexander Road, right here in Manchester. You not heard of it?
No.
There's one called Self Space Manchester, and you get psychotherapists there. And there's a place called Ipsum. And counselling, some of us need different types of counselling. And you need to find the person that you can talk to, and they've got a style that you like. Yes? There are different styles. And not every style suits us. And we say, oh, I didn't like that. Some of us don't like cognitive behavioural therapy. That's not for us. You might like another type of style. So make sure you find out their approach and that it resonates with you, okay? And don't just say, oh, well, I went and it didn't work. It's going to come back and haunt you. And you'll be 72 years old with the same problem that you could have done something about much younger. And trust me, it stays. Yes? All right. So you all know about CAMHS, yes?
Yeah.
But there is a waiting list, and often we do not meet the criteria to receive a service. So that's why we need to do more self-help. And there was one called Manchester Advocacy Hub. Have you heard of it? It's on Great Jackson Street. And what else is there as well? There's the Ramsgate House Community Mental Health Team. And you may be able to call and ask for some information. But the main thing is your access to psychological therapies is an important place. But be creating spaces for yourself that we can do what? Create better emotional intelligence, have space to have relationships. Because we're very judgmental, aren't we? Yeah?
Yes.
We listen, but we're not really listening. Yeah? And I want us to listen and embrace each other. Because we started off today, too many people are passing suddenly. So we know this is the sign of the time. So what are we waiting for? Yeah? Embrace your family, embrace each other and make good life. Yeah? Your mental health, does it belong to anybody else? No, it belongs to you. So you can make a decision to have good mental health. You may live with an ailment or a condition, but we learn how to live with it. And we learn how to cope. And this is something we must teach our children. Coping mechanisms. You can give one child £10 and they will know how to shop. You give another one and they go on McDonald's and in one sitting that money finished. You need coping mechanisms, isn't it true?
Yes.
So it sounds, some of the things that are obvious are actually missing. And have a family night where there's no competition. All right? And do things together. And I think that's the main thing that I wanted to say. And I want to finish with this verse. The Lord hath created medicines out of the earth, and he that is wise will not abhor them. That's from Ecclesiastes. And you have to know that whatever we need, God has already provided it for us. Yeah? Use what God has given to you, and you are the best of his creation. I'm finished.
Thank you.
Send us the list of those those
I can send you the list of those places. Yes, I can. I will send the list of those places. Any questions?
Well, it's not a question really, but just to support what you said about protecting our mind. And when you said that, what came to my mind is that I think Jesus is the perfect example of that. He knows when to step aside. He knows when not to. That is why he built around himself 3, 12, and 72. So which means there are some people you allow them into your inner room. There are some they will be in the sitting room, and there are some they have to be on the roadside.
Yeah.
We need to protect, because if you don't do it, nobody will, just to support what you are saying, if you don't do it, nobody will do it for you. And whatever I've said it here today, I'm number one offender, because at times we want to satisfy the people at our own detriment. And what I say to people is this: it's better I disappointed you than disappointing myself.
Exactly.
Because in my language, they will say that when you have trouble outside, you run to the house. Not that when you have trouble in the house, it doesn't work the other way. You have to protect
yourself. And what you brought to mind is Job. When Job had so much loss, and he was grieving, and the scripture said he rent himself asunder his clothing. Then he shaved his head, and he was walking up and down, and his friends could see that he was distressed, but they didn't know what to say to him. You know what they did? Rather than leave him alone, they too rent their clothes asunder, shaved off their head, and went and sat. They said nothing. And many of the chaplains that I work with, people ask to see the chaplain, then when they come, they say nothing. Because sometimes people are so distressed. They just need you to just be there until they arrive at a place where they can start to open up and talk. Is that okay?
Thank you.
So it's so important. Just tell each other, I'm here. I don't know what to say and I don't want to make it worse, but I'm here. And physically just sit and be. Then when your time comes, I'm really happy that I could be here with you today, and I look forward to coming the next time. And you go. Is that okay? Because we all expecting that person to know what they need and what to say, and you don't know what to say. But just remember the story of Job. Remember, he got back things in the end, but grief and loss of your friendships, loss of your family, loss of your home, loss of your job, loss of your status, loss of your health, loss of everything. Yeah? So look after yourself. It is not just about where services are, but create what you need. Young people, you can lead friendship groups. How to be more discerning. How to do date nights instead of everybody pretending that nobody's attracted to each other. As they said, we don't talk about sex.
nonsense.
Yeah? We don't talk about sex. But baby, come.
Yeah.
True? I'm just saying it as it is. And I want us to be confident. This is what will give you all better mental health and the children that we are bringing. Yeah? If we can start to have that open conversation without the judgment.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. It's a very wonderful time. And I thank God for every one of you that have been here. I thank God for your life. I thank God for our speakers that have been here. Before I will give you, there will be a question now. But because we have limited time, I will let people to let us know their question so that it could be answered and we can go straight to the point so that people will have opportunity because we need to leave here by 5
We can
o'clock.
have short question and answers. We keep
Yes.
it short.
Yes.
We will keep it short.
Okay.
I think people are tired.
That's one thing I want to say here to every one of us. And what I want to say is this. Please, do not wait for anybody to give you compliment. Okay? Do not wait for anybody to do what?
Give you compliment.
To give you compliment. Do what?
Compliment yourself.
Compliment what? Compliment yourself. And that is how you can have a very good life. As I am, I don't wait for anybody to come to give me any compliment. I compliment myself. Like I said to you one day, I was talking to somebody and the person was telling me, I'm not speaking Macedonian English. And I said to the person, I said, look at me, how old do you think? I'm close to 60. I said, I've been speaking my native language for what? For almost 60 years. Now if I speak to you and you don't understand me, you say, you tell me to do what? To come again. That you say, you tell me to come again. And I will come again. So I didn't allow what the person said to do what? To offend me or lower my morale. Don't let whatever people say. It's what people say doesn't determine who you are. What determines who you are is who you are and who you think you are. So you need to know who you are. Okay?
Your opinion and God's opinion that matters.
Yes. God bless you, sir.
Apart from those, all others, there is about. Pardon?
Can wait.
Yeah.
Can wait.
So you need to, and that is killing us also.
Yes. Yeah. And another thing that we're talking today in the car is about people try to, that's a word people normally say. People want to make you feel guilty by telling you, when you do what is right to them, they will now use, and you call yourself a Christian, to assassinate your character to make you do what you are not supposed to do.
Guilt tripping you.
Yes. So please don't let it happen.
I call them emotional blackmail.
Yes. Don't let it happen to you. If people will, I normally say to people, if you want to leave me, you can do what? You can leave me as I am. It's better for you to be yourself and let people leave you as you are than to be keeping friendship that you should not keep, that will be hurting you.
Exactly.
I'm not talking between husband and wife. Husband and wife, you are together, you need to balance things together and you need to work things out. I'm talking about people you relate with that might want to give you emotional blackmail. So it's time for question and answer. How many people have questions?
She does. She has got her hand up.
Okay. How many people have questions? Any question from anybody?
That's it.
So yes, we have 2 people here. Question. How many questions do you have?
Well, just one from what you just said now.
Okay,
I wasn't
one.
going to ask any
Okay,
question
okay,
again, but
1 minute.
from what you said now.
How many questions do you have? Do you have how many questions?
One.
Who else have question? Children, our children, no question from you. Any question about us that you want to ask?
They are very happy today. You know that.
They are very happy. Okay, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I wasn't even going to ask any question because I've asked 3 questions before. But from what you said now about relationship between husband and wife,
Yes.
that now brought something in my head. Talking about mental health illness, and you're telling us that it is for life. Fine, the Bible says that we should be for life, but when there are instances where things are not really working, and there's something they call, I can't remember this English, but irreconcilable differences between husband and wife,
Okay.
which is the only ground in Nigeria was other law. Okay. Now, talking about your health, your mental health illness, it is meant once a man is mentally ill, that is when the man will be misbehaving in the house. And when the woman is mentally ill, that is when that woman will be misbehaving in the house. And when both of them are healed together, things will not work. And they are not ready to go for seek help. And they are not subjecting themselves for any at least treatment of that. And is it advisable for them to say, because the Bible says they should stay forever? Because if one of them should kill another person, what will happen?
Okay. Praise the Lord. Yes, on that, I will let them they will pass comment. But there's something I would like us to know. Okay? There's something I would like us to know is that majority of us that are here have one madness or the other. And our madness could be at one point or the other. But the level of madness is what differs. There's nobody here that doesn't have a little bit of off time.
We call it 5-minute mentality.
Okay? And yes, and that off time, praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. And that off time could be 5 minutes, could be 10 minutes, could be a kind of high up there and down there. When I talk to people about this, what I normally say is that there's some God that brings us together has never made a mistake. So when one thing is for both of them to understand that there's a problem. Do you know the problem that we have is that people don't understand that they are mental, that they have problem. And it's very difficult for somebody who doesn't understand that they have problem to face the problem. We notice this through our interaction with people. I'm not using this opportunity, this afternoon, to mention anybody. We had issue in the past with somebody that has issue like that, and this individual is accusing the wife that the wife is the one that have issue. So they cannot reconcile. That the person also even fought with me. My wife and I, we went to the family to have a chat with them, and in my presence like this, the person was fighting the wife, and I said to the person, I said, look, I said, my brother, if you can be doing this to your wife in my presence, I said to him, I said, you are an abuser. And he fly off with me. Mark was there. So what I'm not saying is that we are supposed to complement one another. But in that instance, I will not say you should divorce. Let somebody who is reasonable seek help.
I think I like your question and I like your statement. And I think going back to what we was just talking about, if we don't recognize that we have become overwhelmed and acting out of character, we become overloaded. Your spiritual ground becomes too heavy and you implode. You can't see your own behavior. It can masquerade. And that is why you need personal time to cool down, time to eat, time to look after yourself. Otherwise, you're just fighting yourself. If you're fighting yourself, you're going to be fighting
Others.
the others. And you don't even realize that's what you're doing. And often, it's not just marriage. It's whether you're in the workplace, whether it's with your own children. The same issue happens. That's how I would answer that important question. And sometimes what we are taught as mental health practitioners, as a woman of faith, I am told I must remove the stimulus of arousal. So sometimes you need time out of the constant arousal of that situation, because it will make you more ill, and for you to see what's going on. Okay?
Any other?
Maybe I should just chip in one. Yeah. I will also speak in the position of somebody that is a bit in the know of that. I think the way, nobody has the whole answer actually, but it depends on, you mentioned the stimulus, and also too, the very important answer is what you have just mentioned, that try to move yourself away from that stimulus, and that is for and in an African way. I don't know where is your it says somebody has to be hot and somebody has to be cold.
Somebody will be a sheep, the other one will be
yes, and in this
or the sheep, no, on the sheep move forward to buy the goat.
Maybe I should. Maybe I should clear my own cooking. Well, the sheep and maybe the aggressor and then the aggressive. But we still have some scenarios where you have the two aggressors, and that means we are both on top or at the I think it is important for us at that point in time to try as much as possible not to. I can understand that many times we actually have some subconscious mind that as we are fighting, the subconscious mind will still be telling us that what we are doing is not good. But the ego that brought us to that level will not allow us to calm down. But at that point in time, honestly, the best method is just what my sister said, that we should just remove ourselves from that stimulus. And how do we do that?
You can go to work.
Go to work.
Go for holiday.
Walk. Yeah.
Go for holiday. Yes.
No. You can't go for holiday.
That is dangerous.
That is even dangerous. Maybe I should.
You want me to stay with the
Hello.
Please.
We're going to be diverting.
Sorry, Pastor.
I've got answer.
My last point is, before I sit down, sir, my last point is that I think the best way. Well, people always say, well, as a man of the house, the man of the house should try as much as possible. Probably take a walk outside and get some fresh air.
Give your wife some money.
Okay, praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. Okay, sorry. I want to say something before my sister talks. Hello. I don't want us to take the context of being redeemed. You see, when we are redeemed, our relationship with our wife, we must see it in light of our relationship with God. Because as individual, we need to be broken down to a level that is pleasing to God. We need to be regenerated. You see, if we are not regenerated enough, all these things we are talking about will continue. Let's talk about regeneration. It is not good for us to be offending ourselves. You see, when you want Yoruba ni pe adeba lokun, aro zekini, aro rokun, aro radire. What I'm saying is that if you are not at peace with your wife too will not experience peace. So, but what can help us is to be what? To be regenerated. Let there be generation. Let there be that contact. The Bible says when a man is in Christ, he's a what? It's a new creation. Let the Adamic nature in us, let it die. What the Bible says about the Adamic nature, when it dies, it helps us to do what? to cool down. It cools us down. It also helps our relationship. Because whatever you are going to do for somebody, you think about Christ first. What will Christ say? What will happen if Christ will come? The way I'm behaving, will I be able to do what? Will I be able to make it to heaven? Heaven must be the focus of whatever we are going to do. Let's forget about one another. Husband, wife, whatever. What we are saying is that one day we are going to live. I was talking about one of our pastor friends that lost his wife this week. This week, we just saw it on Facebook. The lady, the way you see her, very, very committed Christian, very, very committed. She didn't know that she would just go like that. None of us know when we are going to go. Don't go and your wife will be smiling that Kiloku. Don't go that your husband will be laughing. That's hello. Don't go that your husband will be saying that don't go that your husband will say trouble has come. Or don't go that your wife will say trouble has gone. And the last question is this. Now the last question is this. If something happened to you today, do you think your wife will say is missing somebody? Or your husband will say is missing somebody? Think about what will happen if you cannot do things for yourself.
This question.
Oh, yes. I want to talk about mental well-being because we'll be talking about how children are reacting. We'll be talking about we parents more. Yeah. Now, I think I want to talk from the children's perspective. What we would do as a child, where your parents are always constantly arguing and fighting in front of you, and it damages your mental health. And probably subconsciously, when there's fights in the home, there's nobody to talk to. Maybe your mom now comes to you and says, "Oh, your dad did this," and that's downloading everything. Things that are not even you shouldn't hear for your age. But because she wants to rant, she wants to talk, she downloads everything. And when the going is now good between both of them, she just forgets everything she has said and she just leaves you. And subconsciously, those things keeps damaging this child. And she has a whole lot of things bottled up, but the parents are not even giving them avenue to express themselves. Simply because we think, oh, we are parents, I'm right, I don't think I've done anything wrong. What way can we help such a child who does not even know who to turn to? Because nobody will listen to such a child. Everybody will think, oh, she's lying, she should be comfortable, she has everything at her disposal, and her mental health keeps going down and down and down, caused by we, the parents.
Wow.
Wow. No, it's a very good observation.
It's very good. And the reason and why I like what you said is because we spoke today about developing a trust that child should have. If they can't speak to the parent, they should have an aunt, an uncle, a big sister, a trusted person that they can talk to. Because one of the things is, we spoke earlier before you all came, the more that child sees and keeps pushing down, when they explode, people say, oh, what's happened here? Why are they like this? Because those parents, unfortunately, didn't have boundaries. There are things that children are not meant to know, see, or hear and be protected from, or have explained. But a lot of the children are exposed to that because the parents may not have the skills how to contain it. Yeah, they're out of control. And they're not able to control it. But we're going back to the same point before, that a lot of the time we're all overwhelmed. And when you're overwhelmed, we just act out of character.
Reasonable.
And we become actually very wild at that moment because you're full of anxiety. That's anxiety talking. And anxiety at that point has no reason. And so we need to deal with the anxiety. And the more spaces we have for each other, there needs to be men's spaces, women's spaces, children's spaces, couple spaces, different activities to develop our ability to talk and to heal and to protect our units and our children's mind. It's no coincidence the rate of poor mental health in our communities. Because everybody is so full of anxiety and under pressure, but they're not addressing what the anxiety is about. And that's what we need to do. And that child needs to be held in their community. There should be somewhere that child can go and talk in confidence without being judged. Oh, you come from, loving parents, yeah, but my parents have issues. I don't want to badmouth them, but this is how it's affecting me. Yes? Very important. But if we don't create those, what do you call them? Facilities or rapport, who's going to do that? The only services we have out there are what? Crisis services. And those crisis services are still limited. That you can be in a crisis but still be on a bed for 15 hours or 2 days or 3 days in a corridor or no service. Oh, come back. If we don't create them, they are not there. So let's create a safe refuge and build our community. That's what I would say to that on a real level. Because then who's going to address that question? Then what, they're going to go to CAMS? And what's CAMS going to say?
Then I want to add to that also.
he was before,
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thanks for that rescue. In a short words, there's a question I wanted to ask, but I want to add to that what my sister said.
Yeah.
You see, at some point, the dad and the mom, they come together. They settle the difference. But there is a damage done to the child.
Yeah. That's the point.
That damage. You see, if the issue, if the mom has actually said it to the child,
Yeah.
or the child is at home, well,
Yeah.
our houses are
Yeah, and
everywhere. Yeah, well, I think the moment there is a quiet atmosphere, the sea is calm. I think there should be a moment of debrief. Debrief in between the two. That okay, what caused our problem? What is that? What? How did we get to this point? Okay, after we have actually addressed it in a way, now we know that the children are listening, are hearing. I think we should be able to try and strike a kind of interactive session with the kids. Now, we know you all heard that we were
fighting
Iran-Iraq war here. But the basic reason is this. But we don't want you to think it is natural, but it is. You see, it is a problem that goes up and that comes down. So we have differences. We shout at ourselves. We pull ourselves down. We move on and we continue to love ourselves. Don't take it too hard. But if we don't talk to these kids, and it is also a part of developing process too, because you see, in marriage, there will always be here, there, and at the end of the day, there will always be solution. And at the end of the day, the solution will carry along. There are so many things that I get to say. But
Yeah, I want to say something here. Sorry. Okay, 1 minute because we.
I think it's always ideal for us to try not to let our children be involved in all these things. If we can, as much as possible, if we're having our time, our moments, we have it when they are not there. Because even if we are debriefing them, most often than not, the damage is done. And we have instances whereby we have some children that will swear they will not marry in their life.
Absolutely.
This is what marriage is all about. Because we damage their mental health with regards to that.
Yes.
So I think it is not ideal for parents to be having these issues, scuffles and things like that, especially when children are there. So we should, as Christians, that's why we are having a session like this, we should try even to be tolerant of each other, try and take all our whatever into our bedrooms where the children will not hear about it. If one is going even outside the box, you should be able to calm. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. So these children don't know. Because the damage we are doing to these children, we never can tell the impacts. And it might not be, we might not be able to remedy it at the end of the day.
Yeah.
One level of counseling might be able to remedy it. Some children, some boys growing up, learned from the scuffle between the parents that this is the way to treat their wives. And it becomes a circle that keeps going on and on. This is a mental health issue.
Okay,
So we
yeah.
should look at that.
Yeah, okay. What's something?
Yes, I think that is where the idea Jenny got the way that we are saying literally coming. Because we need to allow the Spirit of God to take over us. Without the Spirit of God, we can do nothing. We are going to be fighting, but when one is away and one is out, one of us will be able to accept whatever is going on in the family. We know that all the time we usually fight. We can't. I think we can't afford fighting as husband and wife. It needs to come, and it will come. But we just need to be very, very careful. We have done so many damages to our children. Even most of them, they want to marry quickly, just run away from that problem that they are facing at home. So everything depends on us, the parents, if we don't want to affect the life of our children. That is the reason why most of them are running away from home, getting married at the time that they are not supposed to marry, and doing those some things that are not good as a child of a Christian to be doing. So it depends on us, and we just pray that God will help us in Jesus. If we come,
Okay.
and we come, but we need to be very careful.
Now, if a child is in this kind of environment and you see your parent fighting and you are in trouble, please speak to somebody. Okay? Speak to your teacher in school. Speak to social services. No, let me tell us something today. Let me tell us something. Hello. You see, this is where we make mistake. We will say that children must not speak to that teacher in school when they are going through trouble. Do you want that child to die, to commit suicide without speaking out? If the parent will not listen, if teacher or social services will be the people that can help them out, let them go and speak. I will tell you my own experience so that you will not say what is Pastor saying. When we had our own issue in the house that we are not listening to our children, it was social services and the school that began the problem that made us to learn, to go through whatever we went through. Social services, the police, everybody got involved, and it helped me. It helped my family. We went through parenting. There are many people today who are parents that don't know how to parent. And do we now wait until the person's life is lost before something is done? If a child is going through it, please, even if you are my child and I'm doing something bad to you, you cannot talk to me, you cannot talk to your mother, go and speak to your teacher in school. Go speak to your teacher. Are you hearing me? Speak to them in school about me. Speak to them in school about your mom. Call social services. Call them to get involved so that we can learn. Yes. They are not social services and teachers. They are not evil. they don't want to take any children away. Let me tell you, social services, they don't want to take your. Let me tell you, social services, they don't want to take your child away from you. The police doesn't want to take your child away from you. The school doesn't want to take away your child from you because they will look at your house. They will say, this person, you have a lot. They will train you. And if as a parent you are going through things, go seek help. Don't let us lose our children. Children are committing suicide. Children are killing themselves because of whatever we have done. Whatever we are doing that is making them sad.
Absolutely.
Am I right or wrong?
Absolutely. I like you're making a personal petition. And that worked for you. And if it's ultimately about saving a life, I'm saying yes to that. And it might not work for every family, but the children must feel they've got somewhere and somebody to speak to.
Let me tell you, my sister, there was a family. You know that family that beat a child. Okay? They took the children away from them for some years. But after their life turned around for better.
Good.
They took the children away from them. The father and mother, they sent them to jail. And now they are back. No, they are back together now.
Wow.
They are back out. It's a very long story.
Okay.
Let's save lives.
Sometimes that when children go to some people, even some pastors, to go and tell them that this is what they are passing through in the family, the way they will take it, it's like another thing, and it will be a stigma on that family. Even those children, they will be looking down on them. They will be looking down on the parents also.
No.
There are so many.
So, okay, what I'm trying to say is this. I'm not saying to work for everybody, but let's save our children.
Yeah.
If a child, let's save life.
It is in our hand there. It is in the hand of the parents.
You talk, okay.
That's the reason why they said change our attitude.
Okay.
I don't have a question.
Sorry. Before.
There's two hands.
Okay, two hands. Let your daughter talk before you talk, sir.
All right.
I don't have a question. I don't have any children yet. But for me, if I was to be a parent, I wouldn't be happy to have a child that didn't feel comfortable to come and talk to me. Because I believe that even though there's a lot of support out there, there are people that you can talk to. As you said before, not everybody has it. Some people want to listen to your problems for gist or for the wrong reasons, and not everybody that appears to want to help you will want to help you. And even though there are a lot of services out there, they're doing it's their job. They can't love you the way your family might love you. So I think parents need to also try to be approachable, to be understanding, but also this stems from their parents and the parents from before, and you find that a lot of parents themselves, they're trying because they're also damaged, creating damaged children, and the cycle continues and the cycle continues. And sometimes there's things that, for example, when I was younger, I used to not like my parents for, and now that I'm getting older, I'm realizing that I have those same traits in myself, and I'm trying to let go of those traits because I don't want to be that kind of parent towards my children, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah, I think in one way we are taking it to the extreme, and we need to go back to the manual now. Because, you see, we started by saying that the children witness this and that and that. I think there is a point that we missed. I know the time is gone, but we missed what I can call a servant-acted leadership. So if we turn that to be a servant... It's 5 o'clock.
Yeah, almost 5.
It's fine. So if we don't have to turn, we need to look at it in a servant-acted parent or a servant-acted leadership. To me, I think from where we started on this discussion, I think we need to go back to the foundation. And there will always be argument, and I said initially also that it's a good thing to agree to disagree or disagree to agree. However, because the reason why I said that we took it to the extreme is this: the issue of going to prison and come back and resolution and everything like that. I think we need to be.
Look, that is. I'm just saying that to the extreme.
Yeah, that is. We shouldn't get back to that. I think another thing people are trying to is that, which is both sides. If it is the father or the mother that try to talk to, to offload to the children, I think we need to be aware of that and try to amend that aspect, because we need to consider their mind, the degree of their mind, how mature their minds are. Because if we think that, okay, yeah, we want to, because I've witnessed a situation where it's like, because whether we like it or not, these children will grow up, and later or sooner they will know the truth.
Yes.
And when they know the truth, it may not be palatable even for the person that want to win their soul or their heart to him or herself. Because when they know the truth, then they'll be able to process it. So, in my own opinion, I think the best way, one, they said prevention is better than cure. So let's try to prevent it from happening in the present. My tongue and my mouth do fight, but they do settle it. So therefore, we have to learn from that aspect to settle it. And it's good to